Yeah, in terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson, Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick, shifty southpaws.
With Canelo Alvarez, Shakur Stevenson has no relationship with Jake Paul. None. We heard, oh, Boots is a sparring partner. How much you got paid for that? So now, isn't that also applicable to Shakur Stevenson? Is he not also a sellout?
It's like it's honest, but again, I want to see them fight. I want to see some aggression. Tank would have that if it was anyone he actually felt was worth it. I just don't know if he thinks Jake's worth it. Again, I get that feeling that he just is there.
Jake Paul's latest move is bringing in Shakur Stevenson for sparring ahead of his fight with Gervonta. Davis Paul revealed that Stevenson himself offered to help, giving extra credibility to his training camp. He explained that his team has assembled several skilled southpaws fighters, smaller than him but experienced enough to provide the right looks. Stevenson's involvement is especially notable since he and Paul had no prior connection. Paul believes that working with Stevenson and other sparring partners will sharpen his skills as he prepares for the challenge against Tank Davis.
Yeah, in terms of sparring, we got some great guys coming in. Some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson, Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick, shifty southpaws.
Some analysts have questioned the sudden partnership between Jake Paul and Shakur Stevenson, calling it both unusual and surprising. They argue that Stevenson's decision mirrors Jaron Boots Ennis, helping Canelo Alvarez prepare for Terence Crawford. Though the circumstances are different, in Ennis's case, his family already had ties to Canelo, making the arrangement easier to understand. With Stevenson, however, there is no prior relationship or personal connection to Paul, which has led some observers to believe that financial incentives may have played a role. This has sparked debate over whether Stevenson's involvement is motivated more by business than by boxing itself. Highlighting the unexpected nature of this collaboration,
Shakur Stevenson reached out to Jake Paul in support of him preparing for Gervonta Davis. Help me understand, what is the difference between Boots Ennis reaching out to Canelo Alvarez in support of his preparation for Terence Crawford versus Shakur Stevenson reaching out to Jake Paul in preparation for his fight with Gervonta Davis? Tell me, what is the difference? I'll tell you what the difference is. The Ennis family actually had a relationship with Canelo Alvarez. Shakur Stevenson has no relationship with Jake Paul. None. We heard, oh, Boots is a sparring partner. How much you got paid for that? So now, isn't that also applicable to Shakur Stevenson? Is he not also a sellout? I don't want to hear anything about this fight. It's against a YouTuber, it doesn't matter. No, Shakur Stevenson is an elite level fighter that is going to be a sparring partner to a YouTuber, and he reached out to him directly to make it happen?
Shakur Stevenson has offered clarification on his perspective regarding the Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis matchup. He explained that if he were in Tank's position, he would view the fight from two angles. From a business standpoint, the bout makes sense because of the financial rewards and the spotlight it generates. However, as a fighter, Stevenson admitted that he personally wouldn't take that kind of matchup. His comments highlight the contrast between treating boxing as a career opportunity and viewing it strictly as competition. While some critics question his decision to spar with Jake Paul, Stevenson openly acknowledged that financial factors play a role, reflecting how modern boxing often blurs the line between sporting credibility and entertainment.
So can you blame a man for taking that opportunity? Because this is prize fighting, right? It's about making money and securing your family. Can you fault him for that?
It's two sides of that. Like,
okay.
It just depends. Like, as a fighter, just because I had a draw with somebody, for me, I may run it back. But in a business aspect, if you run it back and you lose to Lamont, and then the Jake Paul fight is presented, you may not make as much money or the fight may not be as lucrative as it was before you lost. So as a business, I understand. I ain't gonna hate on the decision, but as a man
your
and
pride
as
will
a
get in the way.
Fighter with my integrity.
Yeah, but isn't there a price for everything, Shakur? Like, even if you had a draw with somebody and you were offered 10 times more than you ever, I don't know what the number is, but it's a lot more than he's ever made.
For at the official press conference, tensions rose when Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis went face-to-face and ended up shoving each other, instantly drawing reactions from fans and media alike. Still, many analysts view the altercation as part of the entertainment playbook rather than a genuine outburst. In today's boxing landscape, these kinds of confrontations are often staged to spark viral moments and drive pay-per-view interest. The push between Jake and Tank feeds directly into the storyline of the fight, whether the bigger man can impose his strength on the smaller, more skilled fighter, or if speed and technique can overcome size. The drama at the press event ensures that even casual viewers will be intrigued enough to tune in on Fight Night.
Southpaw orthodox matchup, left hand down the pipe. You can even see here, I'm not even trying to do the whole body language breakdown, but you can even see Tank could get under that left hand because he's 5-0. He could roll under that left hand, and here comes the brick hand over the top. If he lands something like that in 10 ounces, I'm going to tell you this. Jake's 200 and something pounds. That's still going to hurt at the very least, and who knows what, because Tank's got ridiculous power. So Jake, a little sloppy on the push there. He got pushed. He wanted to get it back. There's something to be taken away from that, but lines up perfectly for a counter left hand. And you even see his promoter here is kind of grabbing his left hand because Tank wanted to let it fly. And Jake backed up a little bit. He said, oh, and Tank comes to that. Tank, man. Tank said, where I'm from, the bullies get bullied. All right, dude, there you go. Listen, takeaways from this thing, I don't know. Tank seemed to have a little bit more energy today. He seemed to be more lively. Him going back and forth with the media, with Jay Leon, with Jake, with Aiden Ross. There seemed to be a bit more energy today. That's all I really asked for. So in terms of, selling us on something, sure. Better job today from both guys. Jake, seemed a bit more locked in here with Tank as well. They had a little bit more fun. Tank going after Kiso was pretty funny. But listen, this doesn't change anything in my mind. The 10-ounce gloves doesn't really change anything to me. I mean, again, I think that's a bad idea for Tank, more so because even if Jake doesn't land clean, those are 10-ounce gloves, still going to hurt. Tank is still punching in gloves that are 2 ounces heavier than he normally uses, so I don't know how that's a win for him. The $2 million bet almost certainly won't happen, which I didn't think would in the first place, but Tank pretty much confirmed it. And we're all left with the same kind of idea that we thought about this to begin with. This is an entertainment exhibition that we know is going to draw a ton of eyeballs. I'm going to watch, and there's going to be great high-level competition boxing on the underneath card. And even in the main event, if something is to happen, if someone is to get knocked out, it will go mega viral, and both these guys are going to make a shit ton of money.
Despite the entertainment-heavy buildup, boxing insiders emphasize that Gervonta Davis is taking this fight very seriously. Analysts have pointed to his focused body language and intense preparation as signs that Tank is locked in and determined. They stress that the stakes are far greater than many realize. Defeating Jake Paul would not only bring Davis a massive payday, but also elevate his mainstream profile. Experts caution that Paul cannot afford to underestimate Davis the way he might have downplayed older opponents like Mike Tyson in promotional talk. Unlike exhibition fighters, Davis is in his prime and feared for his relentless style inside the ring. If Paul treats this matchup lightly, it could prove disastrous. Davis's disciplined training camp reflects his awareness of both the financial upside and the reputational risk of losing to YouTuber
in this particular in the press conference, and you can just look at him and tell, like, no, this dude he's gonna get this money for sure, because there's so much money out there to be had. But Jake Paul better be not playing around, man. Not get cute, not play any games. Don't hit him in the back of the head. Don't rabbit punch him. Don't do any of that stuff, man, because Mike Tyson, first of all, a lot of people think Mike Tyson was pulling punches on Jake Paul. And a lot of people think that Anderson Silva was pulling punches on him too. You're not going to have a little Gervonta out there pulling punches on you, man, if you're out there playing games. So, I don't like the fight at all. However, as far as it being an entertaining situation, I almost guarantee you that that fight itself is going to be entertaining. That it's going to be something that you look at and you're going to say, man, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to want to know what happens in it. But at the same time, it's kind of like what people think, you know, when you see a car crash, like you're driving down the road and all of a sudden the traffic gets heavy and you're like, man, I'm going to be in traffic for a long time. And then you drive forward a little bit and then you see, oh man, this is some accident on the other side of the road and everybody just slowing down to watch. That's the type of entertainment that you can expect from this fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. There's going to be a lot of people watching it, but I gotta say, man, you really can't blame the guy on what he's doing. And there's a lot of criticism flying on Gervonta Davis. It's not Gervonta Davis's fault that boxing took this turn.
Boxing commentator Showbiz, the adult, has taken a firm position on the significance of a potential Tank Davis victory. He argues that if Davis defeats Jake Paul, he would be celebrated as a hero by both the boxing community and casual fans. The reasoning is simple. Many have been waiting to see. Paul finally knocked out after his rapid rise from social media stardom to headlining boxing events. From this perspective, Davis wouldn't just earn a win. He would deliver the moment fans have long anticipated. Paul's success has divided audiences, drawing in younger followers while frustrating many traditional boxing enthusiasts. A knockout at Davis's hands would cement him as the fighter who humbled Jake Paul, elevating his reputation both inside and outside the ring. In this view, the fight carries a cultural dimension, with Davis seen as representing boxing's pride against Paul's entertainment-driven rise.
This whole train knocking out Jake Paul, he will become a boxing hero. People will then say, now get the hell out the sport. And I'm talking about from a fighter's perspective. That's what they're going to say. Now, it's not going to go on either one of their official records because it's an exhibition. But it doesn't matter because optically, visually, seeing that go viral, and I mean go viral, and Jake Paul will never hear the end of it.
Help you up. We're going to help you up. We're going to see about it. Help you up. We're going to see.
Because Gervonta Tank Davis is not only a real boxer, he's a real boy. He's 5'5". He's a lightweight. Skills pay the bills. Let him knock out Jake Paul, give him Bambi legs, or knock him down. Gervonta Tank Davis, that moment will go viral, and he will be a far bigger, well-known boxer than he is today, and he will also be a hero. And that's the Black Two Sugars. That you guys don't want to admit it. Don't bull jive. Think about it. He will be a boxing hero. It will go viral over and over. It's the same thing. No, not even the same. It's not even close, but there was a viral reaction when AJ knocked out Francis Ngannou.
Anthony Joshua can dispose of the MMA champion!
When AJ knocked out Francis Ngannou in the first round, it was like, now get out of here.